But, maybe McGregor's a good place to start with this podcast, because clearly he was clearly missing. Like, I was watching the game with my brother, and so many passages of play, we were both saying the reason these players are so alone with the ball right now is because that's usually where McGregor's is running in, providing an option for someone to pass it, and then he starts the attack. Although I do think it has to be said, and it's an important point to say, that McGregor was also playing at Ibrox in January, and Rangers midfield ran over the top of him. And back then we thought it was a dead rubber and it didn't matter, and we wrote it off. We said, we'll get them back at Parkhead. And even without McGregor, it didn't change. So, yes, I've been, since we started this podcast, I've been trying to stress to both of you how important I think McGregor's been for Celtic and for Scotland, and how good a player he is. And we always go on about how we're not developing enough youth talent within Rangers and Celtic and Glasgow, but the answer is right there, and has been right there for the last 10 years in the middle of Celtic's pitch. It's, our captain. And I think he maybe would have made a marginal difference in that game, but the other key players for Celtic, Johnson had his worst game in a Celtic shirt that I've seen. He's had a great season apart from that, really, but he was woeful. Carter Vickers and Kasper Schmeichel, who have been brilliant all season, decided to have their worst games on Sunday. There was just a real void where McGregor gives you leadership, and he gives you that, vocality and instruction in the middle of the park, always looking for the ball, he's not afraid to put a tackle in. But all the other guys that usually step up to these occasions went missing, posted missing, decided to have their worst game in a Celtic top at the weekend in one of the biggest games.